Hey guys, Wendy from News Force here. I hope everybody's having themselves a good morning. And I am back with another video. This one in particular, believe it or not, refers to football. We all love football. It's always been an American icon. Sundays or church, and then you go and you watch football. Okay, and it was fun, and everybody had a good time and celebrated, and it was a time for getting to know your family better and spending time with them. And football brought a lot of people together in America over the years. I directly relate my life and my connection to my father and grandfather through football, the Minnesota Vikings. They were the world to me, okay? They were my everything, okay? You didn't get up in my household on a Sunday morning without having your Vikings gear on, okay? It was like, sacrilegious to get out of bed and not have your Vikings gear on in my house, okay? That's what a diehard fan I was. I, although, chose to stop watching it, okay, because of what we know about it. So let's talk about what happened last night, all right? The San Diego Chargers were playing last night, and they won by one kick, all right? And let's just take a look at the score. All right, here we are. All right, so it was 27-34, and the Chargers won by a long kick for a field goal type of situation. And if you look at these numbers, they add up to 61, all right? And go ahead and turn it around, and we've got 16. Now, why do I point this out? For two reasons. We know in their world, it's all about numbers, okay? In the Satanist world, it's all about numbers. And numbers and symbols. Okay, so this is very important. Let's talk about the Chargers for a minute. So as you can see here, I have the logo for the Chargers. They're a football team out of California. All right, so as you can see here, the Chargers played in San Diego from 61 to 16, okay? And so they were originally the San Diego Chargers, okay? So let's keep that in mind. And now they're the Los Angeles Chargers, okay? Just so everybody understands that. All right, let's go back to their logo and take a look. All right, so we have the blue and we have the orangish yellow. All right, and these two colors represent, and it's never an accident, pedophilia and Satanism, sacrifice of children, okay? That's all it represents. So yes, when you see Blockbuster, yes, when you see Visa, they mean it. They use these colors because they are Satanists, and they go by symbolism, and they also go by numbers, okay? They mean these colors, all right? And then if you notice here, there's a lightning bolt, okay? And we know what a lightning bolt is. It's electricity, right? Okay, now hang in there with me for a minute. Let's go on over here and take a look. All right, we're over here at our D.U.M.B'S Underground map, okay? And we're just going to take a look here. If you guys aren't familiar with the D.U.M.B'S Underground map, all of these circles you see are D.U.M.B'S that the military is blowing up down underneath us, where the Satanists lived and reigned and did some pretty nasty stuff. Adrenochrome, kids in cages, stuff like that. So let's just zoom in on the San Diego area first. It looks like things have quieted down, but they're still pretty active. All right, so here we are in the San Diego, okay, area, and you can see it's very active. This has been going on for almost 2 years, guys, that they've been blowing these D.U.M.B'S up, where they've been doing very bad things to our children. Now, we had submarines, tunnels that went through here. We had tram trains that went through here for moving the kids around. San Diego was a big hub, okay? And clearly, by me saying that San Diego was a big hub, they would naturally want to stamp it with their logos as to what it is, okay? And same with up here in Los Angeles. So they left San Diego and stayed right in the area of Los Angeles. Well, the same exact thing is correct here. There was tons of tunnels. If you know who Ghislaine Maxwell was, she had a submarine license. Why would that be? They were trafficking our children through submarine tunnels big time. And Los Angeles and San Diego, for the Satanists, is one of the proudest spots ever. Okay, they're very proud of how much trafficking of the children that they do. Okay, and these tunnels were very, very predominant in the Los Angeles and the San Diego area, as you can see here by how actively they are blowing up tunnels. All right, actually, this is quite quiet. This is a quieter day, and it's constant. All right, now let's take a look at what it is they do to these kids to get the adrenochrome. And adrenochrome is where they hype the child up for several hours. They do things to them to terrorize them. They're trying to get those endorphins going. They're trying to get that adrenal gland to secrete the right amount of oxidized adrenaline, because what this does is it keeps them youthful. And it keeps them high. It's a euphoric high. So, and it's an addiction. All right. So you say, well, how do they do that? Well, the most convenient way is to do it without having to be present. They put them in very large cages. Okay. And they electrocute them about every 10 minutes. They get electrocuted. All right. That's how they get them razzed up. And they get them to a point where that adrenochrome is perfect for them. And then they drain the blood from the child, and they go ahead and use that and sell it. Just look at your local Walmarts. Look at their logos. They're yellow and blue. Okay, and it's also Alice the Boring Machine is the logo for Walmart. Okay, those boring machines are what? The machines that make the tunnels. So they put the kids in cages, and they electrocute them about every 10 minutes for a very long time. Then they pull them out of the cages, and they go ahead and torture them some more. There's a certain height, a certain smell that comes out of their breath that they're looking for, and at that instant, they kill them, and that's the blood that they want. These kids will spend upwards of 30 days in cages being electrocuted, depending upon their ages. These children are picked by age. The younger, the better. That is why Satanists are all for abortion, okay? They want those fetuses bad, all right? Those fetuses are worth more than anything else. They will pay more money for the fetus. The younger the blood, the better. That's why boys are circumcised, okay? Boys are circumcised because they want the circumcision skin. They use the foreskin. They put it on their faces and stuff like that. It's not because they care whether a child lives or dies. They just care about getting foreskins. Do you see their routine and how they train us to believe that these are religiously or large mass thoughts? Like that. Okay, let's keep going here. I'll be pulling this together for you. So, back to our Chargers logo. Okay, so you can see they named them proudly the San Diego Chargers first, and then the LA Chargers next. And what do we have here? Bolt up and a big lightning bolt. Guys, there are no coincidences. Okay, all right. They named this team proudly after adrenochrome and what they do. And they stuck it right out there for us to see. Now let's go back to the score. Okay, so it was 27 to 34, all right? And like I said, 61. Flip everything in their world and you have 16, all right? Now you say to yourself, was that the white hats or the black hats that did that? Okay, well, remember, we let them do things so that we can get them out there in the limelight to expose them. They are trying to expose the Chargers, all right? When we take somebody and we put them on a pedestal, like when Trump put somebody in his cabinet, we all go, huh? You know, why would you put him there? He's a bad guy. We put them there in order for them to hang themselves. Exposure. Okay, so the reason why this totals 16 is because the deep state wanted to let us know that they are there, they're in full force, and they're not going anywhere. Okay, but what does this do for us? just like us pushing Biden out for 4 years. How did that help us? Okay, that helped us because everybody saw what he was. Okay, so really today, this is a celebratory thing because I do believe they're getting ready to hit on football and show everybody what's been done. Every single football game, there are children trafficked in from down in the tunnels, okay? They were being trafficked in for the elitists. The elitists didn't look at football as football. They looked at it for a day where they were going to have some fun with some kids and drink some adrenochrome. That's what they thought of. Kind of like people who do football because it's an excuse to drink. All right. We know several of those people. I'm sure you can name them off. Okay, you guys, this is total Satanism, and it's not specifically that team. It's all of them. Okay, and they're working really hard to clean it up. There are some whistleblowers in football that are stepping forward, some big dogs. You're going to be seeing a lot as we push towards the Super Bowl. I have a feeling this is our year for exposure, especially with what they just did with this game. The Chargers are in the spotlight right now as we speak because of what happened. And I do believe that people who are halfway awake look at those colors last night that they flashed all over the screens and said to themselves, whoa, wait a minute. Now, I don't think they got the Charger part because think about it. All right. Just think about it for a minute. Didn't you ever say to yourself with all the football teams, how come the Chargers? That doesn't even make sense. It doesn't go with football. It doesn't go with this. It doesn't go with that. It's just a fluky word out of nowhere. A thunderbolt? I mean, come on, guys, like that. So it's so very obvious. Let's hope. Let's put our frequency on that. As many times they flash this across the screen, that the people who are partly awake will see this and stop watching football. We have to boycott them, guys, to get them out. All right. And everybody who supports them and gets together for these games, all right, is supporting the adrenochrome factories. Okay. Like that. All right. So I really hope everybody takes this to heart. And even if you do continue to go to your football games and stuff like that, I really hope that under your breath, just a little bit, you'll plant a little question mark in people's minds. Okay, maybe you'll get that moment, maybe you won't. But this is what I had to say about the game last night. It's my job to do my best when I see things to bring it to you guys. And I hope this helped you guys. And with that, Wendy with News Force, over and out.